The outer space, the expanse that exists beyond Earth and between celestial bodies. Outer space is not completely empty. It's a hard vacuum containing a low density of particles, less than 1 hydrogenation per cubic meter, and a temperature of millions and kelvins. Local concentrations of matter have condensed into stars and galaxies. Studies indicate that 90% of the mass in the most galaxies is an unknown form, called dark matter, which interacts with other matter through gravitational but not electromagnetic forces. Observations suggest that the majority of the mass energy in the observable universe is dark energy, a type of vacuum energy that's poorly understood. Intergalactic space takes up most of volume of the universe. Even galaxies and star systems consist almost entirely of empty space. The interface between the Earth's surface and outer space, the Kármán line at an altitude of 100 km is shown. The layers of the atmosphere are drawn to scale, whereas objects within them, such as the International Space Station, are not. This was followed by crewed rocket flights and crewed Earth orbit, first achieved by von Gagarin of the Soviet Union in 1961. Due to the high cost of getting into space, human space flight has been limited to low Earth orbit and the Moon. On the other hand, uncrewed spacecraft have reached all of the unknown planets in the solar system. Formation and state. This is an artist's concept of the metric expansion of space, where a volume of the universe is represented at each time interval by the circular section. At the left is depicted the rapid inflation from the initial state followed by stellar expansion to the present day. Shown at right, according to the Big Bang theory, the very early universe was an extremely hot and dense state about 13.8 billion years ago, which rapidly expanded about 380,000 years later. The universe has cooled sufficiently to allow protons and electrons to combine and form hydrogen, the so-called recombination epoch, allowing protons to travel freely through the continuously expanding space. Environment. Part of the Hubble Ultra Deep Field image showing a typical section of space containing galaxies interspeed by deep vacuum given the finite speed of light. This view covers the past 13 billion years of the history of outer space. It has effectively no friction, allowing stars, planets, and moons to move freely along their ideal following the initial formation stage. By comparison, the air humans breathe contains about molecules per cubic meter. Geospace is the region of outer space near Earth, including the upper atmosphere and magnetosphere. The outer boundary of geospace is the magnetopause, which forms an interface between the Earth's magnetosphere and the solar wind. The variable space weather conditions of geospace are affected by the behavior of the sun and the solar wind. The subject of geospace is interlinked with heliophysics, the study of the sun, its impact on the planets of the solar system. Lunar Gateway, one of the planned space situations for the crewed cislunar travel in 2020s. Interplanetary space, defined by the solar wind, a continuous stream of charged particles emanating from the sun that creates a very tenuous atmosphere. For billions of kilometers into space, interplanetary extend out to the heliopods where the influence of the galactic environment starts to dominate over the magnetic field and particle flecks from the sun. Interstellar space, post-shock formed by the magnetosphere of the young star Orionis as it collides with Orion nebula flow. Approximately 70% of the mass of the consists of helium atoms. Intergalactic space matter distribution in a cubic of the universe. The blue fiber structures represent the matter and the empty regions in between the cosmic voids of the intergalactic medium. A star-forming region in the large Magellanic Cloud, perhaps the closest galaxy to Earth's Milky Way, a spacecraft enters orbit when its centripetal acceleration due to gravity is less than or equal to the centrifugal acceleration to the horizontal component of its velocity. One completed in 2004, reaching an altitude of 100 km. The Federation Nautique International has established the Kármán line. Magdeburg Hemisphere. In 1650, German scientist Otto von Guericke constructed the first vacuum pump, concluded that there must be a vacuum between the Earth and the Moon. Back in the 15th century, speculated that the universe lacked a center and a circumference. He believed that the universe, while not infinite, could not be held as finite as the lacked only bounds within which it could be contained.